So today's remix challenge is based on the personal billboard mission. It's part of the Python with CodeX curriculum, and we're gonna be challenged to create a multiplayer version of the personal billboard. So in this case, instead of just one list to scroll through, you're going to have two different lists. So you can scroll through list A, and then you can select using the A or B button, the other list to scroll through. So you'll have another completely independent set of items to scroll through on your personal billboard. Okay, let's dive into the code for multiplayer billboard, otherwise known as multiboard. We're making two different lists. Each one of those lists has its own separate set of items like pictures you can display, text, colors, things like that. So the same sort of thing we did with personal billboard, but now you can support two people. All right, so the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna make, instead of just my list that has a list of items, we made an A list and a B list. So you can see that here in the code. And I've put the first item in the list as a string. One is called Brad's list and one is called Sarah's list. So that'll be the first item that comes up when you switch between the A and B list. You'll see whose list it is that you've just switched to. So we'll use that as kind of a way to tell what we just did. That's gonna be item 0 in the list. Remember, lists start from 0. So item 0 is the name of the list. Before we had this constant called last index, because we only had one list and the last index was the length of the list minus 1. Since they start numbering from 0, the last one is the length minus 1. So instead of that constant, because we have two different lists, we're gonna make that into a function called last index, all lowercase, and that function will grab whatever the current list is, whether it's A or B, and it will get the length of that minus 1 and return that. So everywhere we had last index all caps for a constant variable, we're now gonna have last index to function call. And here is the current list. So there's gonna be a new variable called cur list, and we're gonna start out setting that to A list. So that basically current list references the same list as this variable A list up here. But current list can be switched between A and B. So now the rest of our code, instead of dealing with one list, which before was called my list, it's called cur list, current list. All right, so now we've changed that. This code here is really the same as personal billboard. So all the rest of this code is very much the same as personal billboard, except where we had last index, make sure you change it to the function call. And that's pretty much it for that part. And here's the new part where we're actually using buttons A and B to switch you between the A list and the B list. So if they press button A, we're gonna set current list to the A list. And we always reset the choice, whatever the current choice is, back to 0. That'll display that string, which is the name of the list, right? That's what makes it, when you press A or B, it always goes back to item 0, which is the name of the list. So button B will change you to B list, button A changes you to A list. So let's run this and see how, well, I've got it already running actually, so let me show you how that works. So now we're on Brad's list. We can go left and right to show the items in Brad's list, and then we can click B and go to Sarah's list and see the items in Sarah's list. So A and B will switch us back and forth. And that's it, multiplayer billboard.